Pause up, everyone. Welcome to Meowy Hour. I'm your host, Arden Moore. As you know, this show is brought to you, presented by the Cat Fancier Association to celebrate all cats. And with me are my ginger boys, Rusty the performer and Casey, pet safety cat Casey. I can't do this show without my cool co-host, all breed CFA judge Kathy Black, and our doggy designee, smaller than Rusty, Destiny. And we are not kidding around today. Well, I think we are going to be kidding around because our special guest today is Rosemarie Crawford. She is the co-founder of the National Kitten Coalition with Susan Spalding. And we're going to go all kittens today on the show. We also want to do a big shout out to our sponsor, the makers of Kitty Raid, a meal topper, Yummy Raid, and we don't discriminate, Doggy Raid. And people are going to get their paws on a pack of that during our trivia. But did I do it all? Kathy, did I say hello to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the deal. Before we dive into kittens, I needed to tell you that my favorite nonfiction author, well, he writes really short and tight. He's up in heaven now, is Ernest Hemingway. I'm an ex-newspaper reporter, 20 years. And I was always, it's harder to write tight than it is to write flowing and all these little comment. Uh-oh, recording stopped. Hang on, I think Miss Kathy had a hiccup. Hang on. Everybody, hang on. She'll come back on. Do you like Hemingway?
Oh, yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Cool. All right, I'll get my notes here. And we're going to have a trivia question about Hemingway. You cannot say the answer.
Okay.
Because we reveal it the next week. All right.
Gotcha.
I'm waiting for Kathy. She's bounced off. So let me just see. This is the first time she's ever bounced off. I hope she didn't have a good thing we didn't try to do this Monday night. She's in Oklahoma. I'm in Dallas. We had really bad storms. And
Oh, no.
Are you having storms now?
We're good here. It's a little bit drizzly, but it's been really nice weather. It's like spring has finally come to the Mid-Eastern Atlantic region.
Okay. All right. Hang on. I apologize. I've not had this happen. I'm just trying to see if she's writing me a note or anything. Okay. All right. Well, this is fun. How you doing, Rosemarie?
Great, Arden. Good to see you again.
Uh-oh. I wonder if she wants us to come back on or whatever.
Ginger's looking. Is that Ginger next to you there?
Which one?
Or is that Ginger next to you there? Or is that Rusty?
Oh, his name is Casey.
Oh, Casey.
He's my ginger boy.
There we go. There's where I got the ginger from.
Yeah.
This is one of my kitties. This is Winky, otherwise known as Winks or the Beast.
I like that.
He's my blind kitty. He was a rescue when he was just like about 4 weeks old. Found him crossing the street.
We're gonna share that.
Okay.
I am wondering what's going on because Kathy is not available. Let me just see.
Sure.
Okay. She said she lost the internet. Oh, great. All right. Well, the good news is we are going to go, we're problem solvers. So she's working on that right now. So
okay.
I'm going to text her real quick. Okay. Yikes. I'm going to ask her, should we log back in? And we can wait for your signal. Okay. All right. So I'm writing her just I guess she had some issues. So count on technology.
Yep.
I mean, I have to super glue Casey to this, you know. Isn't he a good boy though?
He is. He's excellent.
He's a therapy cat. So we go to memory care centers, schools, libraries. He rides in a stroller.
Oh, I love that.
Right, Casey? He always
Yeah.
answers me.
Yeah. That's this one. He's usually pretty talkative too. I can usually get him to say something when I'm talking to him.
Yeah.
And he's just, as you could tell, just a little love bug.
Well, I'm kind of, I don't know what to do. She said she's working on it.
Okay.
So
Is it still broadcasting on Facebook, or are we, once the recording's done?
we're going to probably have to redo it.
Okay.
Start again. Because
All
I'm just the mere host. She's behind the scenes doing all that stuff.
Gotcha.
So, and that's okay. We'll get it. So I apologize, but
No, no worries. It's technology.
almost 2 years, and this is the first time she's ever gotten booted off.
Oh no. Well, now it's be done and behind you, and you won't have to worry about that happening ever again.
I'll have something else.
It's that first time, and you get past it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully she sent me a text, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just watching for her text. So, okay. All right. And in the meantime, our guest next week is the CFA attorney. And he's like, I can't see the show. Where is it? I don't know. Just hang on, sir. We'll get it. Yeah. Oh, well, dang it. Oh, here she is, maybe. No, that's Nancy. Hang on. Hey, Nancy. Nancy? Yes. Oh, you can? Good. Because we're waiting for Kathy. Okay, thanks. Well, then we're going to just go. Okay. All right. Thanks to our friend, Nancy Peterson, who you know with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Great person. Wonderful. Yeah. One of our board members.
She's been a guest on Meowy Hour, and she's the former president of the Cat Writers Association. She just did me a solid and said, well, keep yapping, Arden. Don't give away the secrets. Don't say your bank account number because everyone can still see you and Rosemarie. Hey, everybody, we had a hiccup technological and my co-host, Kathy Black, got bounced off and she's trying to get back on. So we are going to have a good time, right, Rosemarie, till Kathy comes?
You bet. We're just going to make it work. Got all kinds of friendly people out there waiting to hear about kittens, and we're here for them.
So I was trying to talk a little bit about Ernest Hemingway because he's proof that real men love cats. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Yep.
And his love affair with cats dated back when he was given a cat with more toes than normal, polydactyl, a cat named Snowball. And I'm not going to say the name of the captain who gave it to him because that's the question for trivia.
Okay.
But he got the kitty Snowball, who had more than the normal 5 on the front and 4 on the back on each paw. And I've been to the Ernest Hemingway home in Key West, Florida. That's where, if you want to be a cat that won the lottery, you get to live on the grounds at the Hemingway house. And they take care of these kittens. They get all their medical vaccinations. They even have those little fences, kitty-proof fences, so they don't go out to the bars at night, in Key West, things like that. I actually did a radio show from my O Behave show on Pet Life Radio from there. But what was really cool is he called cats purr factories. What do you think of that description?
Love it. Love it. Is there any better sound than the purr of a kitty?
And it's very healing, as we know, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And he claimed one cat leads to another, which is perfect because we got Rosemarie right now on with the Kitten Coalition. And so anyway, please, if you get a chance, as COVID is getting in our rearview mirror, we hope, and you get a chance to do some traveling, please, if you get a chance, go to the Ernest Hemingway Home and Museum in Key West. There's usually about 60 polydactyl cats roaming the grounds. It's beautiful. And as a writer myself, it's pretty interesting because he has his main house. And then to get away from everybody, he threw this little, like a rope climbing thing, tossed it, and it lands and hooks in his standalone garage where he did his writing. And the garage didn't have a door to get up into it. He did that to not be bothered by anybody but cats.
Wow.
I didn't know if you knew
That's
that.
pretty serious. I did not know that.
Yeah, and his first cat was named Snow White, not Snow White. Oh, here comes our buddy. She's coming. And that cat turned out to have a lot of Maine Coon in it. Did you know that?
I was not aware of that as well.
So the other thing I like about him is he named.
So you
Hey,
guys got to
Kathy.
continue without me. I'm glad you were able to continue without me.
Well, we're glad you're back. We missed you. And Nancy Peterson called and said, "You're on. Just keep talking." And poor George, our attorney guest for next week, is like, "How do I?" Again, I'm like, "I don't know. Kathy's not here." So every one of you, please, thank you for your understanding, your patience. Hiccups happen, right? So
That's
you
for
okay,
sure.
Kathy?
Yeah, I'm running off my phone, so I don't know if it'd be any better than, hopefully more stable than my crazy Wi-Fi.
Okay. Well, we're
So-
talking about Hemingway,
I
and
was going to lost it.
okay, you're a little wobbly because I think the Wi-Fi, but we do see you, right, Rosemarie?
Yeah.
Okay. So Hemingway didn't just name his cats Kitty, Kitty, Kitty. He named them after celebrities. So their names are Marilyn Monroe and Humphrey Bogart, Zane Grey, Clark Gable. I mean, I got to meet a lot of them. Kathy, I don't know if we should try it, but can you throw those 2 pictures I sent you from the Hemingway house? We're going to keep our.
I'll get them. I had to reboot.
What's that?
I had to reboot, so I lost everything. I had to reboot.
Oh, that's okay.
So
Well,
I lost everything I had, but I'll get them open. I'll get it up. Hang on a second.
okay. Well, while we're continuing, but while I was there, I got to interview with my microphone Marilyn Monroe.
Oh,
Apology.
awesome. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So that's the closest I get to celebrity-ness. But there was a cat at the Hemingway house named Jake, who has had the Guinness World Records for the most toes at the time. He was a ginger boy, and he had 28 toes.
Holy cow.
Now, most cats, we have a license
That's great.
on our team here on our show tonight, Rosemarie Crawford. How many claws or toes do most cats have?
Most normally have 18.
Yeah, so he had 10 extra.
Where'd you
Wow,
put them all?
power. And the other thing is, of course, Hemingway, I love his books, The Old Man and the Sea, A Farewell to Arms, The Sun Also Rises. And so he's one of my favorites. So I wanted to just do a little tribute to him today. I hope some of you enjoyed his writing. I love, he has a quote. He said, "A cat has absolute emotional honesty. Human beings, for one reason or another, may hide their feelings, but a cat does not."
So true.
So that will usher us into, it is Cuddly Kitten Day. It's a holiday. So it's appropriate that we have on with us, we have licensed veterinary technician, Rosemarie
I
Crawford.
finally got the picture for me.
Oh, she's back. Look at her. There he is. Oh, look at that picture of
There we go.
Ernest Hemingway. Isn't that cool?
Very nice.
Real
Yeah.
nice cats. And then do you have that picture of me with the kitty I'm interviewing, Marilyn Monroe?
I'm working on it.
It's not the Marilyn Monroe you all are thinking of right now. All right.
I have one thing that maybe kitties don't necessarily show us their true emotions.
Oh,
Not to stomp on Hemingway by any means, because I do like that quotation.
Yeah.
But one thing that cats are really good at is not showing pain, at least initially.
That's
And
true.
so sometimes, they're very stoic about things, and sometimes we don't realize maybe they need to go to the veterinarian because they're not exhibiting some of the same activities or some of the same signs as that we maybe see in dogs sometime about pain. So
very good point. And that picture was me interviewing Marilyn Monroe at the Hemingway house. So we're going to get into the kitty characteristics with our special guest, Rosemarie Crawford. Hey, you guys, National Kitten Coalition, easy, easy. it's just kittencoalition.org. And Kathy's going to be showing that link, but they do a lot, especially for the poor little orphan kitties, the neonatals. But I am so happy that we have Rosemarie on our show because she is the CFA CEO and co-founder with Susan Spalding of this organization. And I was laughing because you guys started and it was actually called something different. It sounded more like a golf acronym, FORE.
Yeah.
And what did that stand for back then? And I think it was back in 2008.
Yes, way back when we originally got our nonprofit put together, it was Feline Outreach, Rescue, and Education. A little bit of a mouthful to say all of that. And as you mentioned, the initials just, they could have been so many things. So we needed a name change bad.
Well, I had a dog named Chipper, and I was like, oh, they're cats at golf?
Love it.
I'm really glad you're now the National Kitten Coalition. But let's get into it a little bit because kittens don't come with an owner's manual, and kittens show up in all different ways. But tell us a little bit about the National Kitten Coalition. What's kind of your mission, if you would? And because we've got a lot of people listening here from all over the world, actually. Some are cat breeders, some go to cat shows, some do cat rescue, you know, so we've got a nice wide group of people. They share in common CAT, love of CAT. So can you kind of give us a little bit about your goals for the National Kitten Coalition?
Well, sure. So you mentioned the mission, and way back when in 2008, our mission was to help people take care of kittens and have them survive. So technically it was to increase survival rates. But as we've grown and we realize that there's so much more that people are asking us that they want information on, our slightly changed mission is to increase kitten survival rates and improve the quality of life through the power of education. So we are an educational organization. We hear all the time that, you know, the information isn't always available out there and people have questions and they need information. And so we believe that by teaching other people how to also take care of kittens and how to improve their lives, that we're ultimately helping more kittens all around the world than we would ever be able to foster by ourselves.
Well, knowledge, to amend the popular quote, knowledge is per power.
There you go.
Hey, we kind of been out of sync because of the hiccup earlier. So before we keep diving in about some of the great stuff you're doing, Kathy, we did want to announce who won the prizes from last week's show when we had the two crazy cat ladies, Jay and Adrian. We had a great time with them, and they were generous with their gifts. The question that we asked you all was, okay. Last week's, all right. Did I?
It was the castle.
Yeah, the lady that's the Irish singer, Enya, she is a Grammy winner, and she lives alone in an Irish castle, really, except with cats.
Oh.
So the question was, what's the name of the castle that Enya lives in? And it is Manderley. So Kathy, who won and what did they win?
Okay, so the Manderley answer, the winner was Lisa Alshel, and she got the kitty raid samples coming her way. And then the two crazy cat ladies were giving away a crack pillow.
Yeah, say that. Make sure it's CRACK, not crap. Crack, like kitty crack.
Pillow. And the winner of the pillow was Nancy Dione.
Oh, nice.
And the winner of the correct answer was their motto. Remember their motto? You asked what the motto was?
Yeah.
And then the state question was Oklahoma, and where
they have a veterinarian. Yeah.
From.
Their veterinarian consultant.
Yeah.
For their feline essential product.
Right. And that cat calm goes to Cheryl Boyer. She says she needed some calm herself, but I told her it was for the cats, not for her.
Congratulations,
And
Cheryl.
so Cheryl Boyer, Nancy Dion, and Lisa Allshaw were our 3 winners.
Nice. Sounds great. And we appreciate y'all tuning in. Hey, now we're going to test your trivia knowledge today. And the winner is going to get a 3-pack. They're going to get the Yummy Raid, the Kitty Raid, and the Doggy Raid from our great sponsor. And it's a Hemingway question. So I want to test your Hemingway cat knowledge. I told you that the kitty he got, the polydactyl, was a kitty named Snow White. Because I've been told it's been Snowball too, but it's Snow White. But what was the name of the ship captain in the 1930s who gave Ernest Hemingway this first polydactyl cat? So I'm going to give you 4 names, everybody. And guess what? All of them are real ship captains from the 20th century. So I didn't make up any names. In fact, one of them you should know because he was the captain of the Titanic. So I guess that was the end of his career. Okay, so here are your choices to win the prize. Was the name of the cat, the name of the captain who gave the cat to Ernest Hemingway, A, Stanley Dexter, B, Luis Pardo, C, William T. Shorey, or D, Edward Smith? Don't say anything if you know, Rosemarie, poker face.
Okay, all right.
So is the captain with the polydactyl cat Stanley Dexter, Luis Pardo, William T. Shorey, or Edward Smith? What do you think of that question, Cappy?
I think it's a good question. You let your Dr. Google tell you.
All right. So let's get back with Rosemarie. And there's a lot of things that are hitting kitties in the 21st century. I know there's been a lot of progress in trap, neuter, return, vaccinate, things like that. But can you tell us about what do you think are some of the biggest issues facing kittens today?
Well, certainly we need to continue with the trap, neuter, return. We still have too many kittens. As much as we love kittens, we still have too many of them. And we want to make sure that we can get to a place where every kitty who can be in a home is in a home. And TNR is going to help with that. There's fascinating work going on in research and kitten research and cat research, major universities. One of the best things I think have happened in the past 10 to 20 years is that shelter medicine has really caught on. There are wonderful universities with shelter medicine programs, and veterinarians are now choosing to go to school to actually work in shelters, whereas 20 years ago that wasn't always their first choice.
And I'm jumping on that. 2 that come to my mind are Tufts University and Cornell, and they both print catnip and cat watch monthly publications that are all vetted out by the team. One of my good colleagues at the American Association of Feline Practitioners, who's been on the show, Elizabeth Colleran, she's had a lot of play in shelter medicine, but I'm really happy to see that. And we had people from the San Diego Humane Society on, and you're seeing these shelters now that have like neonatal units and things.
Exactly.
For kittens. So I think working with you and universities and shelters, it sounds like it's not a hissy fight.
People, it's wonderful. The animal welfare community is coming together and realizing that kittens and cats and other animals need our help. It's not this hissy fight, like you said. We've gotten away from a lot of that was happening, years ago. People are much more cooperative, and there's amazing research going on that's going to help kittens and cats everywhere, like every cat health foundation.
Yeah. And you said if we could crystal ball.
The early spay and neuter, we've known that for a long time. I mean, I was doing early spay neuter on my pet kittens. But my vet, as long as they were 3 pounds, he was happy with it, and all that research is showing that there's no detrimental long-term effects to the males or the females.
Mhm.
And so that really helps a lot too, when you're dealing
Oh,
with shelter
exactly. Because those mama cats are ready to rock, and they like more than one boyfriend. Hey, one thing that you brought up to me before the show is if we could crystal ball what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years for the world of cats. And you talked about a program called the American Pets Alive. Can you talk a little bit about that? Am I throwing you a curve?
Oh, no, that's fine. So they are, if you're not familiar yet with them, all the folks who are listening, there's a project going on right now that American Pets Alive is doing, the HAS project, Human Animal Support Services. I hope I got that right. And they're transforming the way we're looking at our communities of animals and transforming and doing away with kind of the old system of shelters and pounds and having a community approach to helping all of our animals in the community. It's really, really remarkable. Definitely suggest looking into that and finding out more from them. And there's also, like I was starting to say too, about research. There's some great research going on. I don't know if you want me to jump into a particular FIP is a dreaded disease. If anyone has had the terrible fortune of having a kitty with FIP, until recently,
And
it
we should say feline infectious peritonitis. I just wanted
perfect.
to
Yes,
act
thank
like
you.
I'm smart. Yeah.
Well, you are. Yes, thank you. Feline infectious peritonitis. And until recently, until past few years, it was often considered just to be fatal, and there was nothing that we can do with it. Oh, my kitty's talking to me back here.
Oh yeah,
But thanks
we'll
to,
introduce them in a second, but keep going.
sure, thanks to amazing research from people like Dr. Peterson, Niels Peterson, you mentioned Dr. Colleran, Tufts, Cornell, UC Davis, University of Florida, and I feel bad, I'm probably going to forget someone. Yeah.
We got to get her on the show. She's awesome.
She is. Yes, there are so many out there, and apologies if I'm missing someone at the moment, but FIP now is becoming a disease that can actually be cured in some cases, and that's really amazing because of the research and the programs that allowed the research to happen, and that's still happening. So I think, as you say, what's coming down in the next 5 to 10 years, I think we're going to have a totally different view on what it means to have FIP, how to maybe prevent it and how to treat it, and it no longer has to be a fatal disease. So that's very exciting for cats everywhere.
And I know they've been patient, and cats, they are known for their patience. But would you kindly introduce 2 of your feline buds
Sure.
to our audience?
Sure. Let me lean over here for a second. She was just pawing at me saying, I want to be on camera too. This is my Rusty girl.
Hi, Rusty.
She's about 17 years old. She's getting up there. Look at the camera up here. And she's starting to lose her hearing a little bit.
She's beautiful. She's beautiful.
Wow.
And she's an example of a cat who used to live outdoors, who I caught when she was 5 months old already. And
Wow.
I think she's transformed pretty well.
I think so. Now, who's the other one?
Okay, and over here, sitting patiently.
These are 2 of the luckiest cats on the planet. Seriously, to be with you, Rosemarie.
Bless your heart, that's so sweet. This is Winks,
Hi,
Winky,
Winks.
or Baby Ba. He's my blind kitty. I don't know if you can see very well, but if his eyes are still there. They're healthy, they just can't see, and they're covered over. He doesn't really have a pupil or anything there, but he was brought to me as a foster kitten, just about 5 weeks old. He was found in the middle of winter time. He was trying to cross a road, not being able to see where he's going.
Wow.
His mama cat and his siblings were nowhere to be found, and a good Samaritan brought them into the practice where I work as a veterinary technician, and he came home with me to be fostered, and here we are 15 years later.
And everybody, check out the little chin nuzzle.
That's my baby.
I have a feeling that's a favorite pose for you too.
Oh yes, he will just sit here, and I have to work around him.
He's absolutely amazing, and he just exhibits how cats and dogs use all their senses, and they don't have a pity party if they don't have one sense, like the sense of sight. They just figure out another way, right?
It is totally amazing. I say to him all the time, I hope I never go blind, but if I did, I hope I have his courage, and he will run through the house. He will go up his cat trees. In fact, when he first was getting used to our house and he, kind of knew it, he would like to walk on the outside of the stair rail going down on just that little part of wood that would scare me to death. But he was like,
Really?
I got this. I'm a cat. Doesn't matter if I could see or not. And he knows where everything is at, and runs down the hallways. We've got runners down the hallway, so he can tell as long as he's on that carpet, he knows which direction he's going, and he's just amazing.
Well, I love that. And because it is Cuddly Kitten Day, and we have the expert here on kittens, I mean, what a great job working with kittens, and you are helping them put their best paw forward. I was kind of surprised that when they're born, they're about what, 3 or 4 ounces?
Yeah, 2.5 to 4, depending on breed.
And everybody, and I'm shamelessly promoting Catster magazine, in the May and June issue coming out, there's a whole special section on kittens, and yours truly interviewed Rosemarie for an article we did. It's called The Science and Art of Kitten Nutrition. And I led it with, she hasn't read the article, so who knows how I quoted her. I'm just kidding.
I trust you.
But they quadruple their body weight in 6 months. Now, I think I quadrupled my body weight since COVID.
Yeah, right. The COVID-15 maybe, or
Yeah, the real COVID-19. But that's pretty startling, isn't it?
Well, kittens do a lot of growing, and there's a lot of muscle development, and yeah, they have to, especially, for when they were evolving and they were out in the wild, they had to get hefty pretty quickly if they were going to be able to hunt and to keep themselves safe too. And mama can't take care of them forever, so they just have to get going.
So they're born like Winky, they can't see.
Right.
And how long does
hear.
it take for the sight to come in? And also they can't hear. So in general, how long does it take for newborns to get those senses?
Sure. So yeah, when kittens are born, their ears are kind of flapped over. I wonder if Winky will let me work here. And they're kind of lower down on the head. And he's saying, no, I'm not a kitten anymore. I can't do that.
Oh,
Okay,
big boy.
come here, sweetie. You have to go over here right now. Let me put him to the side here for a second. Good boy. So I have backup plan, other kitten. Surprisingly, I have no kittens right now, right? Knock on wood, because the phone will ring, or they'll be at the clinic. So yeah, their ears are a little lower, and they're down on their head when they're first born, and their eyes are closed. So within about 7 days, their eyes start opening. It's just a little slit, but even when their eyes open, between 7 to 10 days, they'll become fully open. Their sight isn't that great to start. They're just seeing, their mama a foot or two away. They're not seeing, we believe, very clear details. And then as they get older, as the months go on, 2 to 3 months, then they get that further distance vision and those details.
How about their hearing?
So their hearing, it's there, but their ear canals are kind of closed, and their ear flaps are closed down too. So those kind of open up as they age over the next, usually by about 3 weeks for sure. Their ears are kind of opening, and they're starting to come up on their head, and then they're starting to be able to hear things better. And even, I would suspect though, even with their ears quote unquote closed, they still hear quite a bit. Cats' hearing is very sensitive, and they certainly, they'll nuzzle around to look for their mama, and they'll smell their mama, but I would imagine they're hearing maybe some muffled sounds when their ears are still closed.
And then I understand, how long does it take to you even see baby teeth come out, erupting through the gums?
Sure, yeah. So the little baby teeth, they'll get these little chiclet teeth in front, the little incisors.
I dated a dude like that. Okay, that's another story.
I'm sorry,
right.
What's that?
I dated a dude like that with chiclet teeth. Just kidding.
Okay. Yeah, so those incisors come in about 2.5 weeks. You'll start seeing them coming through, and then their canines at about 3 weeks, and then they have their premolars coming in about 5.5 weeks. And then that all happens again pretty much in the same order when we get to 2.5 and 3 months, and 4.5 to 5.5 months, those other teeth coming in then and back, they're permanent teeth.
Okay,
I've
so
had 4-week-old kittens just completely get off mama and go eat dry food at 4
Wow.
weeks. So
Wow.
they have teeth, they can eat. Yeah.
Yep.
so let's talk about, because when any of us come across a litter, or if you're raising a purebred for your cattery for the CFA, or you're at a shelter, or you're like, we had a group called the Bitty Kitty Brigade, and you get these newborns, there's an art and a science to bottle feeding, right? To make sure these little guys get what they need. And we have a licensed vet tech on right now here. So can you give us a few tips on bottle feeding?
Sure. Yeah, I always think it's important to bottle feed if we don't have a mama cat with those kittens anymore, and we humans have to step in to take care of them. I think it's important to be able to bottle feed them. I think there's some good nurturing that happens in being able to suckle. And I know some people also talk about tube feeding, but I think that as natural as the process could be is always nice, but it is hard sometimes to get them to latch onto a bottle. So we do have a whole set of tips on our kittencoalition.org under our resources, but I'll share just 1 or 2 of my favorite tips with you.
Okay, good.
First of all,
Wait a
when you
minute,
get
Casey's taking notes.
okay. When you get the bottles, they usually don't come with a hole in the nipple. So that's
Right.
one thing. You have to make sure that you create the hole. Now, there's a wonderful thing. I don't know, could we say actual brands on here?
Yeah, maybe sponsor us.
There you go. The Miracle Nipple. Perfectly named because it comes already with a hole in there. The texture of the nipple is great. This one is actually a 4-paws nipple, and it's a very conical one. But once you've got that nipple
Can
hole,
you show a close up of it and hold it still?
oh yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
there
So
you go.
this
All right.
conical shape, this is a 4-paws nipple. And I find that a lot of kittens like this real conical shape. There are other brands that work great for other people as well, you know, from Pet Ag, and then of course Miracle Nipple has those holes in there. But one of my favorite things to tell you about is the bottles are kind of rigid nowadays. When I started fostering kittens years ago, they would just crush in, they would just suck right in because they were more pliable. Well, they don't do that anymore. So as the kittens drink and they're nursing, there's a vacuum effect that's created because this bottle doesn't, you know, sink down at all as they're nursing. So the best tip, and this I have to give to Susan Spalding, she's the one who taught me this, is just to ever so slightly loosen the lid, just enough to break the seal, so to speak, just so it's not so tight. And then what happens as your kitten is
and show us the right way to hold the kitten while you're nursing.
Exactly. So I would have the kitten on my lap or sitting on the desk in front of me, and always with belly down. They have to be in this prone position. If they're not, you can risk getting milk into their lungs and causing pneumonia, or worse, even drowning them. So always in prone position, and let them tell you how much they want. So you're not squeezing the nipple to and the milk to get in there, but you go ahead and just loosen that ever so slightly, and you'll see as the kitten is nursing that little tiny air bubbles will come up here through this bottle. And that way the air is replacing the milk that's coming out, and the kitten can keep on suckling and not have to stop. And you see their little ears going. I just think it's the cutest thing when they're nursing and they've got a good grip on that nipple and the little ears are going back and forth. It's just the cutest thing.
I think Kathy knows that.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Kathy. She's like, wee. Let's do it.
Well, she mentioned tube feeding, and sometimes you do have to tube feed if they're not strong enough to suckle on their own, or I call it too stupid to live. They don't know how to nurse, they act like they don't know how. So sometimes you do have to tube feed, and that's a whole nother process. But I always would just use a syringe, like a little small syringe, that would slide down easily enough. I tried using the bottle with the little glass bottle that you put your thumb over the end, and I would always drown them with that. But those bottles like that, I always thought they were too big or too bulky, but maybe I just didn't try hard enough. to
Well,
learn?
no, it's
how to-
everyone has a different way of doing it. And so a lot of times, even in our classes and our webinars, we'll talk about different ways because you find what works best for you. Some people love the thumb controlled bottles. I can't do those either. Plus, most of them are glass and I am too clumsy of a person. So I'm not going to have a glass bottle. So, you know, and syringe feeding, I'll definitely syringe feed too. And you're right, they'll suck onto that, especially with those miracle nipples. They can fit on the end of the syringe as well, which makes them also wonderful. And the kittens will just suckle right from that. And one other quick one, one of my other favorites, and again,
yeah.
again, you can, you know, check on our website. It has a whole list of them, in addition to, you know, being the right temperature and all of that, is to just stabilize their head a little bit. And especially for those kittens who are so ready to eat and they're like, okay, come on, give me the bottle. And they're moving around, their head is moving and they want the bottle. And you're like, whoa, too much moving target. Just stabilize their head a little bit. And if you just put a finger and a thumb on either side of their mouth, it's ever so slightly kind of just bringing their lips a little bit together. You're not really pushing them together. It's just that little bit of support. And then they're able to steady their head and get that nipple into their mouth from the side first and then turn it forward. And then they're off to the races.
This is great. And I'm trying to think, I believe we met in person the first time at the Academy in January 2020 in Virginia. Shout out to Julie Gross for being the one who sponsored all that. And we both had booths and we were both giving talks. And I thought, oh man, this is great. How did you, I know you're a licensed veterinary technician, but what gravitated you to helping kittens?
Yeah, and actually when I started all of this, I wasn't a licensed veterinary technician. I went back to school
Really?
to, because I wanted to understand better about the disease process that was happening in some of the kittens I had. I wanted to understand better about why certain medications are chosen or given a certain way. And so I actually went back to school to become a licensed veterinary technician, and I don't look back at all. So happy that I made the career change. I used to teach English, believe it or not.
Can I say, where is it at? And just make you cringe?
Absolutely, no, not at all. So I was, when I was teaching at the local university back in Illinois, I was also volunteering at the local shelter, and they had, I'm sorry?
Where in Illinois?
Back in East Central Illinois, Urbana.
Oh, so you were at University of Illinois?
Yes.
That's where my mom and dad graduated from.
Oh, awesome. Fellow alumni.
Yeah.
Say hi to them.
Oh, they're up there.
Okay. Well, high up there. So when I was teaching at the community college there and volunteering, and at the shelter at that time, this was a good 20 plus years ago, they had a kitten nursery, they had a full-time veterinarian on staff, and I thought that was what it was like everywhere. We moved to Virginia, where I'm at now, and have been since that move, and I figured that everything was the same out here or better, right? And I was very shocked to realize that there weren't foster programs for kittens, much less full-time veterinarians on staff, and that many of the bottle baby kittens who were brought to shelters were simply euthanized because they didn't have the staff or the training or the milk replacer to take care of those kittens. And so Susan Spalding and I met after I moved out here to Virginia, and we were trying to foster as many kittens as we could, try to save as many lives as we can. And we were pretty much both 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 fostering kittens. And we just couldn't take every kitten that we got a call for. And it broke our heart. So we said, we just need to start teaching others. And so we started class, and we started working with Fairfax Animal Shelter, and they got a foster program going. And we started just giving classes for the area and for rescues as well. And
it just took off. And you changed your name from a golf sounding acronym,
right?
National Kitten Coalition. And I do know, because I got to watch the time, we do have some things upcoming, and humbly I'm on tap. You grab me for April. Tell us what's going on in April, in June, and in October.
Awesome. So yes, we've got this amazing speaker coming up in April. Arden Moore. Casey. Casey and Arden are going to be helping kittens and cats, and there are people who take care of them with kitten and cat first aid. That's going to be a great session, our webinars. You can also find out about all of our webinars. We have 1 or 2 webinars every month pretty much. You can visit our website or follow us on Facebook. You'll see them be advertised. But yes, April, we've got Arden coming with us for first aid
April
tips.
21st or when
April
is it?
21st, you got it.
Yeah.
And if people can't make it to the live session, just like this one will be recorded and they'll be able to access it later. So everyone can have access to that great information. And then we also, June 10th through 12th, yes, the online kitten conference. This is our 4th year doing the online kitten conference with our friends over at the Community Cats podcast. If you haven't checked them out, check them out too. Yeah, Stacy, we love Stacy. And Kristen, absolutely. Everyone over there is just great. Really good, lots of kitten information on all kinds of topics in June. And then our other major conference that we have is in October, and that's October 2nd. And that is a one-day conference for veterinarians, veterinary technicians, and their staff, and those in veterinary school. It is our 3rd annual NKC Veterinary Conference.
Well, you guys are busy. And like I said, you got to go to kittencoalition.org, everyone. Lots of great resources available right at your paw. And we're going to stick around with our special guest, Rosemarie. But right now, we have, again, apologize for the hiccup beginning, but we're humming now, right, guys? We're humming. So right now,
I hope so.
Well, it's the first time we've had this, so we've been pretty blessed. So let's go with all breed CFA cat judge Kathy. Kathy is going to talk about the Burmilla while I go off camera to get ready to create a real messy drink for you guys. Take it away, Kathy.
Okay, all right, thank you. So CFA is featuring a breed a week, and this week is the Burmilla breed. And we just talked about the Burmilla not that long back, but I don't mind talking about them again because it's a really beautiful breed. It's a fairly new breed for CFA. The first litter was produced in 1981. It was an accidental breeding between a chinchilla Persian and a European Burmese. And so you kind of have the little looks of the European Burmese with the coloration of the silver Persian. It's a medium-sized cat with a muscular yet elegant body. The head is sculptured in appearance, rounded on the top, nose profile and medium muzzle with a well-developed chin. The eyes can be any shade of green. They can be a little green gold or maybe a little yellow when they're young, but they'll get very green as they mature. They come in both long hair and short hair variety. The long hair is just a semi-long hair. It's not like a full Persian coat. And they're in all of the chinchilla and shaded and golden color patterns. And chinchilla and shaded is describing how much color is on each hair shaft. So I have some pictures to show you that. So here's all the different colors that they come in with the white undercoat. They have the black, seal, sepia, chocolate, blue, lilac, and caramel. And then they also have the genetically sex-linked red, cream, and tortie colorations, which Rosemarie knows about a tortie because that's her lovely cat. And so when we talk about the shaded pattern, we're talking about 1/3 of the hair, the top 1/3 of the hair is where the color is. So it's white underneath, and you'll have 1/3 of the hair with the color on there. So when you do the black or the darker colors, you can see it a lot more evident. Here's a short hair and a long hair. If we talk about the chinchilla, now we're talking about just the tip of the hair has any color. So the cat mostly has the white coat with just the little edges, as you can see here on this cat on the shoulder here. Just the color is just on the very tip of the coat. And that means chinchilla in CFA. That's how we describe the color. And so here's a long hair chinchilla and a short hair. And then they come in the sepia colors and some of the darker colors. And so you can see here a long hair and a short hair. You're going to see a lot more coloration on the back, the legs, and of course right here, like where you have the M on the forehead. And they come in the golden pattern too, which I've not seen one of, but here is a golden short hair. But most of the ones we see are in the silver color class. And they're just beautiful green eyes, sweet expression, very sweet cats. Not a huge cat, muscular, but very elegant. And we see, I think, more long hairs than we do short hairs, but I like both when I see them. They're just a really beautiful cat. In fact, I've said my next cat's going to be this breed. So we'll see if I add one of these to my household. And these kittens with their beautiful green eyes, they just have the most amazing look to them. And I think they're just a beautiful breed. And I'm happy to discuss it today. This is our Burmillas. Okay.
Thank you, Kathy.
And
What'd you think?
We forgot to tell Arden to fix her name. She's still Motor Mouth.
Oh yeah, I always forget. It always shows up. Thank you.
That's
It always
okay.
shows up on. I love it. She calls me Motor Mouth, but it's appropriate.
Motor Mouth.
I gotta remember. I'm gonna have to make myself a little note. It only shows up on this show. So, but anyway, thank you, thank you. You do rescue all types of cats that come your way, right, Rosemarie? So sometimes I'm sure you've had to handle some purebreds.
Oh, absolutely. So National Kitten Coalition isn't actually a rescue that takes in kittens, but yes, I foster for other organizations, and certainly animals come into where I work at the veterinary clinic, and yeah, some of them you go, I wonder, is what's in there, just not your standard domestic short hair or long hair.
Yeah. Well, I like that the National Kitten Coalition, you have partnered on occasions with the Cat Fanciers Association.
Yes, everyone who wants to know more about saving kittens and helping kittens have better lives, we are happy to, everyone come together. National Kitten Coalition, everyone is in it to help kittens. And yes, you guys have great resources as well. And it's been a pleasure meeting your members. And it's always fun to talk about kittens, no matter who or where.
All right, we're on the home stretch and we're still online. Wow!
How about that?
So let's talk about CCW, Miss Kathy.
All right, so CCW is CFA's program to recognize the non-pedigreed cats. It stands for Companion Cat World. And when you go to cfa.org/CCW and you register your cat with our organization and you upload a picture, not only does your cat's picture go up on our gallery, you also get this lovely card with your cat's picture and your cat's name and your information. You can order a luggage tag or key rings to go along with this card. It's a one-time fee of $13. Gives that random bred cat a legacy and a history, which all cats deserve, and 10% goes to a local shelter. So everybody check that out at cfa.org/CCW.
And Rusty and Casey are proud card member of the CCW. We're going to talk
my
about
Lola girl.
Yeah, that's right. And mark your calendars for Tuesday, March 29th. March 29th is my next veterinary approved 3-hour cat first aid class. And I know you're real busy, Rosemarie, but if you're available, you are invited to come for free because that's what I do for my special guest. Or I can give you another date. I think we have one coming up in like May or something. But Casey, and if Rusty's behaving, help me in teaching cat first aid. It's a 3-hour program on live interactive. Good thing, everybody, you can be at your home with your own kittens or cats, working with some of the steps that I give you on how to deal with choking, how to do kitty CPR. What happens if your kitty is bleeding or got stung by a bee and is going, their throat is closing? We are not vet techs. We are not veterinarians, but we are that life-saving bridge between the uh-oh and getting your kitty safely to the vets. So what do you think of that, Miss Rosemarie?
I love it. And I would be honored to be able to join you and attend that that session. Really important information because, yeah, those first moments when something's happening, you need to know those first aid skills.
All right, well, I will
It's
invite you and
very
you will get
valuable
the
to
Zoom
know.
link to come. If you can make Tuesday, it's from Eastern time, 6 to 9 p.m. For the folks in Central, 5 to 8, you lucky Californians, it's 3 to 6 p.m. So after the show, I'll send you the link. How's that?
Great. Love it. Thank you.
All right. Hey, we got about 5 minutes left. Now, as you all know, I am a licensed bartender. And I decided, because we had some cold weather here before spring is sprung, and I decided to create a recipe I'm calling It's Meowy Mulled Wine Time, because you want to treat your cat adoring friends with this warm, satisfying drink. So this quantity is not for one person. It is for like a lot of people. So this is the recipe. We do post it on CFA's Facebook page and Arden Moore's Facebook page. Shout out to Teresa Kiger, all breed CFA judge and editor of Cat Talk. She has many talents and she creates the graphics for it. So because I had to do this on the stove, okay, I've already got in my saucepan, I have a full bottle of red wine. Now I like, this one's a Cabernet. You can do a red blend, whatever your red wine choice is. You're going to then do 3 cups of apple cider. You're going to give a couple of tablespoons of honey. You're going to cut up a full orange, as you can see, that's floating to the top. And then the secret to this are some of the spices. One of my favorites, I don't know if you know about this one, Rosemarie, but it looks like a little star. It's called the star anise or anise. I don't know. I only have done radio for 18 years, but it is a licorice kind of flavor. You're going to put 2 of those in this concoction. You're also then going to add a little cardamom, and cardamom has kind of like a eucalyptus and mint and pepper taste, real clean taste. And then you're going to add a little, is this okay, Casey? A little nutmeg. He goes, there's no whipped cream for this one. I'm really highly disappointed. And you put it all in, you put it on the stove and simmer for about 10 minutes, but you're not done. Then, yeah, baby. Then you add 3 ounces of brandy. Say goodbye. Say goodnight, everybody. So here we go.
Yeah, you better be sharing that with Julie tonight.
No, we're not finishing it either. And there you go. And 3, and you give it a little more stir up. And then
This
get
is a
your
party
favorite
drink.
mug or something. I've got one of these glass mugs, and I'm laughing because I'm left-handed and all the things are for righties. You guys, you righties. So I'm going to probably spill this, but then you just pour it into your glass. All right. So at this time, would you all kindly raise a glass, whether it is the Meowy mulled wine cocktail I concocted, or whatever hidden things are in Rosemarie's drink.
Never tell.
Supposedly a soda being drank by Kathy. But let us all raise a glass, and please let us toast to all cats, all kittens, purebreds, and ones like these who make us better humans. Thank you, Kitty. Cheers.
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 This is very nice. I can feel the warmth.
Well,
And I can
for
drink it
a
with
big
this,
party.
and it won't show the stain. Look, I matched my drink. My sweater. Hey, we've really enjoyed having Rosemarie Crawford from the National Kitten Coalition on our show today. You survived our first major technological hiccup in the existence of the show. We thank you for your spirit. We thank Nancy Peterson to say, Arden, you're on the line, so keep talking. And I'm like, thank you, thank you. We also want to thank the Cat Fancier Association. We definitely want to thank our sponsors, the makers of Kitty Raid, Doggy Raid, and Yummy Raid. They're busy at Global Pet Expo right now going on in Orlando. I thank Kathy and this cool dog, Destiny. Shout out to my little dog, little Emma, survived heartworms as a stray and just got healthy. It's a long process, you know that, as a licensed vet tech. And she just completed her canine good citizen, and she's on her way to become a therapy dog, like Casey, and Rusty's next.
That's excellent.
So we also want to do a shout out. Next week, we're going to talk to a legal beagle about cats and dogs, about pet trust, about pet laws. We're very honored to have, he is, I don't know his title at the CFA, but attorney George Egenhauser is going to be on Meowy Hour, our first attorney on the show. And Kathy, you know him a little better, right? Did I?
Yes, he's a director. He's a director at large.
Okay,
for the
director at large.
CFA board.
Well,
And he
we-
also sits on the AnyCat board and several other major boards. And so we're glad to have George Eigenhauser join us and talk about pet laws and what we can do to better prepare our cats in case something happens to us.
Yeah, I was so honored when he said yes. So everybody, be good to your kitties. It's Kitten Day. It's Cuddle Cat Day or Kitten Day. I can't
Kitten
remember.
Cuddle Day, Cuddly Kitten Day. There we
Cuddly
go.
Kitten Day. Here comes Casey. He goes, there's nothing here in this drink I really like. Aren't you? Hey, I appreciate all of you tuning in from all over the world to watch our show. If you don't catch it today, check out Meowy Hour on YouTube, because Kathy posts each episode in a much cleaner version than probably ours today. And first of all,
I don't know what it's going to look like after the hiccup, but we'll see.
Rosemarie, thank you so much for being part of the show and for your patience and for all you do for cats.
Well, thank you very much, Arden. It was really a pleasure to be here.
All right, guys. So we'll see you same cat time, same cat channel. We'll see you on Meowy Hour. Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.